prefer Elgato because I think the recording is better.
There we go.
These underwater levels are typically really hard. But I'm getting a very nice, almost rock solid 60 FPS. Oh! Okay, Rashid strats don't work there. But anyway, that's emulators. I've got GBA, I've got... What else do I have running on here? ROMs. I'm a goddamn troll. Ported Super Mario World to PS3. Oh, well, there goes. Well, I just got a takedown notice.
What?
Oh, no. It's making fun of the fact Nintendo does not like people streaming their games. Might also not like people, you know, playing ROMs of their games.
Oh well.
Can't. Alright. I think that's the text I was looking for. Oh nope, that's Restream.io saying, great stream, it was long. Like, yeah, it was. And then it shut off. More people watch my Devil May Cry play on Twitch. More people watch my everything else on YouTube.
I only really get people watching me on Twitch mostly. I got a couple 100,000 views on a DMC2 video, but that was it.
What? Why?
Yeah. I don't know.
I guess someone wanted to see, like, what's this train wreck?
I guess.
Morbid curiosity. You know, I need to stop saying, you know, like, DMC2 was a train wreck. It was just boring. That was it. It wasn't anything exceptional. I mean, there were things that didn't function, like mid-air combos.
No, mid-air combos did work. You just haven't played through the game recently. You don't remember what is truly wrong with it. There are missions in there where you will remember and you will understand where those complaints come from.
I'm sure, but my biggest thing was, it's boring.
It is. It absolutely is.
Like, a bad game can still be fun.
Well, again.
Yeah. Also, like Marvel Infinite, the game is fun. It's not that great, but it's fun.
Yeah, it's a bad game. It's fun.
Speaking of Marvel, Jimmy, how do you think about this whole Marvel 4 biz?
Oh, I brought it up yesterday.
Huh?
I'm not convinced that they have anything lined up. There's no
I respect
profit
that.
to be made out of that.
No profit to be made.
Not with the way that last one did, and Marvel 3 didn't sell that well either. There's not a lot of interest in that. And they already have 3 Tyrants that they're releasing. They have their Monster Hunter. Surprisingly, I can say that they have their DMC and Resident Evil. Those are the only 3 games that they really care about right now. Like, Marvel right now may as well just be Ace Attorney, in terms of importance. They don't give a shit.
Okay, that's completely overstretched. Marvel 3 actually did It's not one of the highest sellers, no, but it actually did sell well because the whole very uncanny cast and everyone knows about.
Did it sell over 2 million?
I can't even actually let me see.
Because from their standpoint, their standards for a good selling video game is 10 million. Or not 10 million, 2 million. Marvel Infinite only sold 900,000. I think Marvel 3 was... I can't be more than 1.5. But by their standards, 2 million is what they want from the video games that they create. And if it doesn't exceed that number, they're not interested.
If they weren't interested for Marvel 3, then why make Infinite?
Quick cash grab? I don't know.
What cash grab? When only 9,000.
Exactly. There was no point for that game to exist. It didn't need to.
Honestly, I think it needs to exist because I feel like that gives a new staple and I think a better approach to team games. I think Active Switch, like if Marvel 4 is ever a real thing, take the good things from Infinite and also put it into Marvel 4, like Active Switch. That is a really good mechanic. The only problem with Active Switching that everyone had was you throw a projectile most of the time and then Active Switch, and then it's like a 50-50 mix-up because you can't properly push block normals into Active Switch, or like a special, like that's like a physical hit into Active Switch. Most of the time that shit's fake because it's like after you push block them, they're no longer in distance, so it just all it does is reset it back to neutral, which that's really good. But with Infinite, with its whole weird new push block system against projectiles, like those just projectiles become lockdown assists, and then Active Switches, just puts you in a ridiculous 50-50. So there's nothing wrong at all with Active Switch, and if anything, it's better than with assists.
I think there is something wrong with Active Switch, actually. Until the day they remove the ability for me to do super into Active Switch at any time off of any knockdown, that system is beyond broken. And it makes any other kind of setup trivial.
But that's the only thing that makes it broken is with supers.
I disagree.
Like, well, the other thing is, like I mentioned before, but this is like the game's fault, not really Active Switch necessarily. It's with the whole projectile thing with push blocking, which
but
I still don't understand why they made like
game,
it.
Though. So
it is.
Like
the whole meter, like.
I'm with you that I love Infinite, but that game is far from perfect, and is, in my opinion, it is still a step down from what we had with Marvel 3. Regardless of touches of death, regardless of anything else that you can come up with, the zero clone overheads and shit, I don't care. Like, I would much rather have to eat 0 clone overheads than off of every knockdown have to eat another super. It's a system that could work fine, but it has problems, and until those problems get fixed, that game won't be as playable as I'd like it to be. Like, you can have broken shit, but not like that.
I don't really think it's a big step down because, okay, what am I trying to say? Like, it's not a step down in my opinion, but it's not necessarily a complete big step up either. Like, I think Infinite is that draw line because Marvel 3 was much more of a problem than Infinite will ever be. I'm going straight to be honest here.
I don't think that's fair to say because you've had 1 year for Marvel Infinite and Marvel 3 had like 5 or something. How many years has it been out? 5, 7, something like that? Like, you can't make a comparison as to what is incredibly broken in one game and what isn't incredibly broken in another game when there's such a discrepancy between how many years that game has been active. That's not a fair comparison in the slightest. Not for Marvel 3 or for Infinite. To top it off, and you just said this yourself, like, it's a step down, but you don't think it's a step down, but it's not a massive step up either, if that's what you said. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, that is what I said. Like, the game is a mess. Everyone could agree with that. But there are some, but also the things that make up for it is like what I said. It's not really a step down. It's the whole new mechanic with the whole active switch, which honestly is not a bad mechanic. The biggest things that made that mechanic bad, in my opinion, is like I said before, with the whole super intercept play rock like active switch. That you're right. You got me on that. That shit is actually redundant.
It's not a matter of being redundant. Like it's the fact that anybody with half a brain can do it, and I have to guess for at least a solid 3 seconds. And the thing is you have to remember that this is a sequel, and what is the point of a sequel? Like it's to take
because
what
it
happened.
Makes a lot of money. Like Marvel.
No,
like,
not just money. Like it's the fact that a sequel is made because there is some kind of improvement that can be made on the mechanics that were there in the previous titles. Like, if this game is worse than Marvel 3 and nobody's playing it, there's something wrong there. It failed as a sequel. Like, you can have all the mechanics in the world that could be better, and I'm saying the same thing. The mechanics are fine, I think. Not fine, but they could be better. But it doesn't matter because they're not good enough. Just nobody's playing. It's not a good sequel. It doesn't do the series justice.
Right, I mean, and also, like, you know, they try to add a story to it, which isn't all that great. All the X-Men, regardless of what anyone thinks, the X-Men is what really makes the money for that franchise, and it actually sells well. Speaking of which, I'm trying to, like, find the sales from Marvel 3. Like, when you have your iconic characters...
You mean Magneto's like, more than just a function?
Yes.
Yeah. Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 in 2011 made 1.2 million. Fate of Two Worlds made 2.2 million. So, okay.
Success.
I guess.
But Marvel
like, once
vs.
you have like all their iconic characters, people are going to keep buying your thing regardless if it's like ass or not. And plus, what helped Marvel 3 is that it just looked fucking beautiful.
It was also broken as all get out.
I think I would pay more attention not only to the initial sales, but a couple months after those sales and see how many players are actually still playing. Because if you're speaking in terms of longevity, then the number of current players is what's most important. Not the sales. Like, the sales mean a lot, right? Because it means that they might continue to create more updates, or add things, or even make new games. But if nobody's playing, who the fuck cares?
Do you keep in mind we're not a majority? We're like that 1%.
1% of what?
Like, are you talking about the competitive aspect of things? Because casually people are playing these games still.
Marvel Infinite?
Yes.
How many?
Didn't Marvel Infinite get booted from Evo, basically? Like, it's no longer...
Yeah.
That's competitive play. That has nothing to really do with casual play.
Are the servers still up?
But...
Yeah, they're still up.
Okay. I remember reading the rumor that they were going to go down sometime at this point this year.
This month, and that's still full of shit.
Yeah, well, I mean, I hadn't heard anything about it since, so I figured it was full of shit. Capcom would be like, hey guys, this is about to happen.
They would have officially announced something like that.
But I mean, if Street Fighter can keep going, then I think Marvel Infinite will be fine.
Street Fighter is still made to be presentable. Marvel Infinite was not.
What's the difference? What would be the difference then between Street Fighter and a Marvel 4? Like a rebrand. Like a rebrand of Marvel Infinite into 4.
Wait, ask your question again.
What's different about the way Street Fighter was presented, and let me make sure I articulate this right. The way it was presented, marketed. And
asking me what I think you're asking me, then you're basically asking me for a hypothetical that I can't answer. Like, I don't know how they would present it. I don't know if they even have any interest in a game like this.
all right, well, what would
the time or money?
in that case? But we do have something to compare, and that's vanilla Street Fighter V versus Marvel Infinite. What makes Street Fighter V deserving of the rebrand it got, and not Infinite? Because both were in very sorry states. One continues to be.
I think it's a lot easier to appeal to casuals in Street Fighter than it is Marvel.
I will agree. I will agree to that.
It is like there are like fuck, I can't speak. It doesn't also help that Marvel also didn't have its iconic characters, like its very popular iconic characters. Because if that was the case, then Infinite would have done wonders over SF5. The SF5 was gradually adding the older cast, and Infinite would didn't really have much of the entire cast. Honestly,
I think Capcom needed to just be honest and say, look, we don't have the rights to the X-Men. That's who's because what was it? It's Fox that still has it. There's
Probably.
there was a big once Disney acquired it. Disney had, well, let's just say Disney is very particular how their IP is presented. And Marvel. I mean,
also, keep in mind, and plus, I mean, you're right. They should have announced that, that they couldn't get the X-Men or anything like that.
I feel like,
but at the same time,
they could have
saying that could have actually. Okay, I'm gonna make an assumption here. Could have possibly gotten them fucked over, maybe because Fox was very sensitive over the X-Men and a lot of shit like that. That's why in the Avengers movies they couldn't say X-Men or mutants. They had to say the Enhanced or whatever the Enhanced people.
Right, or Inhumans.
Yeah, Inhuman. Well, no, that's different. That's actually completely different. But yeah.
Well, the point is they went right. The point is they went out of their way to not use the word mutant.
I personally do not believe that a couple of characters would be enough to save the game, but it definitely would make the game more tragic.
I think if they had just been honest and say, look, we just cannot get the rights to X-Men for this, that would have done them favors. I don't know if it would have improved things massively, but it could only have helped. People don't want to be told, hey, your character's really just a function. No, you identify with that character. People spent years playing with Magneto and Wolverine.
That may be so, but I don't believe that they would care enough. Just saying that the characters won't be in isn't gonna do anything for anybody. They don't care if we're honest. That's not what they're concerned with.
Honestly, there's those type of people my characters aren't in there. I'm not gonna play until they are in there.
And that's true. It's just that Capcom is not telling. You need to give a real reason why these characters aren't in the game. You can't just
even. I mean, honestly, I'm kind of giving you side. Even if they announce that, it's kind of it's.
No, you're not. I don't think you guys are getting what I'm saying here. Having those characters does not fix the game.
And I'm in agreement with you primarily. I don't see how it fixes it mechanically. I don't think it would have had staying power anyway. I think it'd be in the same state it's in right now, just with more copies sitting idle.
A bigger roster is enough to drive in a couple of casual players, but in no way, shape, or form does that fix the fucking game.
No, it doesn't.
And I don't think bringing in more people is really a solution to anything.
I think an overhaul is what they need.
That's why they said. That's why they were saying that in a way they're honestly done with Infinite. What the leaks are quote unquote saying that they're done with Infinite. Marvel 4 is going to be its own thing, or it could possibly be an add-on to Infinite, but it was mainly said it was going to be its own thing, not just some big update for Infinite.
The rumor I read said it was an update. Though I can see Capcom wanting to wash their hands of it.
And plus, we have a new president now, and Like, because Ono just made things really sketchy, and since he's no longer the president of the fighting game side of Capcom, we have the new guy who was the president for Monster Hunter and shit, who's actually taking care of shit, which is the reason why input delay is finally being addressed for SF5. Now he's actually starting to step up to the plate and try to fix things out.
I will be more interested when I see an official statement. I don't give a shit about rumors.
Yeah, respect that.
Because how many
I'm
rumors we got about
just
internet?
on this seat because every rumor this guy has said has been 100% true.
Was
Even
this the
so,
same
I mean,
guy
you,
who?
you are using your own bias here, even if you don't want to acknowledge it. You
Right,
like the
right, yeah,
game.
no, I'm acknowledging. Yeah, I'll definitely acknowledge that I am being biased here.
You
so-
want
There are
Marvel?
times where, and I mean, I think I'd want a Marvel 4 as well if it's actually fucking decent. Like, I got tired. I like the game. I almost like the way it plays, but I'm fucking tired of having to eat lockdown supers. It's not fun. There are so many fucking variables in a Marvel game to where it ceases to be a skill-based game. Not once did I ever feel like I was actually losing because of something that is objectively worse in my skill set. It's just something that I had to deal with because the game has so many different variables that can happen all within like less than 10 frames. So who the fuck cares? Like,
You know, do you know that Ultron can actually use flight as a reversal and not need a mix-up?
oh, well, yeah, great. So a bug is the way I'm gonna get out of a fucking what a video game you've put together. Fucking morons. I don't fucking like a majority of the people that still play that game. Because they will openly defend something that's complete horseshit, and usually it leads back to just block, or there's a way to deal with it. I'm like, that's not how that works. You don't guess between 7 different things that are under 20 frames. You're only human.
But real talk though, like, I want to talk about how if Marvel 4 is real, and like, even though I personally want to keep Active Switch, because I still think it's a good mechanic. If like, I think super set play should be absolutely neutralized. But if they want to keep the concept, spend 2 bars.
No, just get rid of it as a whole and make super in a tag only a thing for installs. Like, that's it.
Excuse me.
There was an attempt at some kind of balance in really minor areas, but it doesn't affect the game.
Are we shit
Because it's so busted in other areas, yes. Like, the negatives outweigh the positives in every way, shape, and form with that game. It's why it didn't succeed, it's why it doesn't work, and it's why I don't play it, partially. I can't really play it so much because of my hands. It's why a lot of people don't play it anymore, and the only people that do play it are too fucking stupid and ignorant to see that their game is busted, and that's the only reason they're taking wins.
A lot of people play Street Fighter. It's worse.
I mean, an argument can be made that Marvel 3 is broken.
Of course it's fucking broken.
It's broken in a different way.
There's never a honest Marvel game, nor will one ever exist. but
Because Marvel 3 is a single-player game. If you get hit, just put the controller down.
I mean, like, Marvel 2 was worse.